any genuine personal animosity toward Diddy, but it has to be addressed. I'm a gold miner who recently discovered some gold. I think he's innocent of the charges, which could send him to federal prison for the rest of his natural life. Rumor has it that Diddy was performing something akin to an Epstein style operation, where he was filming everyone. Joe Rogan is known for voicing his opinions and calling out the craziest stories in Hollywood. But with all the drama surrounding Diddy lately, he's venting, and it's hot news that Joe has allegedly revealed a list of big name celebrities who were involved in Diddy's infamous antics. Guess what? These celebrities won't be able to elude the feds, who are closing in, and it appears they'll have to choose between selling Diddy out or snatching the cell next to him. Yes, you did indeed hear that. Joe isn't messing around this time, and if the allegations are accurate, Hollywood's elite may be nervous since the focus is about to turn away from Diddy, and some major names will need to make some difficult decisions. Which person will flip first, and who will fall with him? Be prepared, as this is just the beginning. Not your typical pundit, Joe Rogan has years of experience in the entertainment industry and is known for his ability to unearth information. He has stated that almost all celebrities are currently trying to contain the damage that Diddy has caused because, let's face it, Hollywood has been riding high on conspiracy theories for years. There are basically layers upon layers upon layers. But everyone is attempting to get their tails out of the trap now that the house of cards is beginning to tumble. Hollywood is playing catch up, but they won't be able to outrun Joe, who has intimated that some of the greatest names are trembling in their boots and has firsthand knowledge of who is attempting to separate themselves the fastest. If you really think about it, Diddy had a way of making everyone pretty woozy before things got wild thanks to his endless supply of substances. And let's be real, the celebrities knew exactly what they were getting into those kinds of environments. The fallout has those celebrity environments where celebrities all get together. And there's so many of them, in these wild parties. Famous parties were more than just get togethers. They were the place to be if you wanted to rub elbows with the right people and succeed in the business. Everyone knew what was going down, but they continued to show up because that's how you play the game if you wanted to be relevant in Hollywood. Big, crazy parties that let everyone loose and get everyone fired up and give them everything they need to get fired up and handed that 14-page indictment. Nobody is secure. According to Joe, people in Hollywood were likely concerned about what was happening and which parties they attended, although it's unlikely that they were directly involved in any of it. The higher-ups are using Diddy, the little fish, to further their own agenda. Joe alleged that the feds were hunting damning film of the Foss, not Diddy. It won't be inaccurate to assume that Diddy was just collateral damage. Diddy was friends with everyone, which is another tricky thing. I've talked to a lot of people who said things like, "Hey, great dude, always there for you, never asked for a single thing." They were the ones who called and said, "I need to protect myself, so go in there with everything and rip off any tapes or evidence." We know it's more complicated than that, but celebrities are reportedly trying to distance themselves from the scandal and clear their names. Authorities have already claimed that Diddy wasn't acting alone, and the next stage may involve the prosecution of a whole network of individuals who were involved in the rap music industry. Diddy allegedly used a network of employees, including security guards, personal assistants, household staff, and even high ranking supervisors, to enable his disturbing actions, according to his federal indictment on charges. This network allegedly helped intimidate and silence the women who attended his infamous freakouts or wild ass parties. A high level enabler would be someone who enticed the women to attend the ass parties. However, with the heat building, it appears that major players and Diddy Saga are attempting to sever ties with a disgraced mogul, despite the fact that they had videos. A low-level enabler would be, let's say, the housekeeper who cleaned up after one of the S parties. What action will they take regarding that? There is a video after all, and when you say something like that, well, okay. So according to Joe, Usher was the one who was most aware of Diddy's antics. Now, let's be honest. That is pretty hypocritical when you consider that everyone knows that Diddy conditioned Usher when he was a teenager and that Usher had a problem. He just wasn't aware of it at the time. Daddy was this up-and-coming music executive who had the ability to really make someone into a star. He put people through something called Flavor Camp, and during Usher's stay there, he lived with Puff. You might recall that interview with Howard Stern, in which he casually mentioned the wild things he saw during his stay with Diddy. Yeah, it was more than just a front row seat to the time you could open the door and see a bunch of random people playing Netflix. He said he would be up all night partying when all he really wanted to go to the studio, which is when people started to speculate. But once Usher established himself in the business, he did quite the opposite. Rumor has it, Usher became one of Diddy's suppliers. And yes, he allegedly pimped Justin Bieber to Diddy during those infamous 48 hours Justin spent with Diddy. Well, that was just the beginning. Usher then sends a young Bieber to Diddy for 48 hours. And in this interview, Diddy says stuff like, Justin is doing things that any 15-year-old would dream of now. Usher is scrambling to clear his name after a suspicious 6,000 tweets mysteriously vanished from his X account over the weekend. And what a coincidence, it happened just days after Diddy's arrest on those bombshells. ST charges naturally, people were quick to connect the dots and assumed Usher was wiping his tracks. But now Usher's account is back and he's playing it cool, brushing off the situation with a few laughing emojis. Tweeting account got hacked. And damn, you all ran with it. See you tonight and into a dome. Yet, despite all the social media humor, Usher has remained silent on the serious allegations swirling around Diddy. What's even more telling is that a civil lawsuit filed by former Danity Kane member Don Richard claims Usher witnessed Diddy's Diddy against Cassie Ventura, and still not a word from him on that front other than Usher. Leonardo DiCaprio is also making attempts to separate himself from the drama engulfing Diddy, with an old photo of him circulating from one of Diddy's infamous white parties. According to a source close to the actor, DiCaprio appears to be making every effort to distance himself from any negative associations with the disgraced music mogul. Even though DiCaprio used to regularly attend star-studded parties, including his 50th birthday celebration in 2019, the source is adamant that Leo was never involved in any of the freakouts. Listen, we all know the sources are trying to clear his name, so they didn't even mention that DiCaprio used to be his number one party guest. It's obvious that DiCaprio is severing ties in order to avoid being associated with this mess. The source made it clear Leonardo DiCaprio has absolutely nothing to do with any of this. The list goes on as Pink also wiped her Twitter account clean of the tweets praising Diddy. It does make you wonder why go to such lengths to cut ties if there wasn't anything fishy. And now with Diddy's lawyer claiming he believes he's innocent and has no plans of pleading guilty, the question only gets bigger. If Diddy is so confident in his innocence, why are so many high-profile celebrities scrambling to erase any trace of their connection to him? Fans believe that they know more than they're letting on. They could simply be trying to stay ahead of what could be the biggest scandal Hollywood has seen in decades. Only time will tell, with his legal team standing firm and no plea deal in sight. It's clear plans to fight tooth and nail, but the way everyone is distancing themselves suggests they might not want to stick around for the fallout to this day. He's been looking forward to clearing his name, and he's going to clear his name, and we're going to stand by his side as he does. We believe in him wholeheartedly. In the last hearing, people were speculating that Diddy would apply for guilty appeal, but he applied not guilty once again. Diddy's attorney arrived in the press to defend him, but I don't see it happening because he feels he is innocent and needs to stand up for everyone who's been targeted by the federal government, including his family. He feels he owes it to them to say, you know what? Maybe I can break the model. Maybe I can show the world that a black man can win in federal court. In fact, I think he's the only person I know who might be able to actually achieve that goal. Interestingly, Diddy's infamous parties with Khloe Kardashian were nothing new to the Kardashians. In a 2014 episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Ian herself revealed some startling information and claimed that she occasionally attended.